Ladies and gentlemen, many songs have been written, and this is one of them.
Today our subject is measurement and benchmarking in corporate services. We all of course need to measure everything that we do. Benchmarking is, well, you know, how do we stack up against our peers? How do we stack up against market norms? What are market norms?
Let me talk to you a little bit about WRAP. And WRAP stands for the Waste and Resources Action Programme. Our vision is a world where resources are used sustainably. A third of all food that's grown is wasted.
I think what does concern executives is the reputation of their organisation.
Putting a voluntary agreement in place that's going to cost the business more to deliver than it would save them, because unfortunately at the moment people are very much focused on cost.
I want to just bring in Adrian here for a second. Adrian is from the Committee for Climate Change.
If you look at some other areas where there have been voluntary agreements in the past, there have also been failures. How do you ensure that the voluntary approach becomes more than the coalition of the willing when you need action across all players really to be reducing their emissions and improving their efficiency?
Brilliant. It's getting it to the next level where you've got someone who's, you know, the board of running the bank. It's getting them to really pay attention to it. That's where there's always been a difficulty.
Some people who are willing and enthusiastic and able, and you get those people together and you start collecting data. And as I said, in the first step is to collect the data and then to analyse it. And then from there you can use that information, as you're saying, Charlie, to create that narrative, to create that story.
What is the environmental impact of our core business making a TV programme, and until you actually know what it is, you can't do anything about bringing it down. Because Albert's free to use, and because it's hosted by BAFTA, and because you've got companies like Sky who say to their production companies, if you're making a programme for us, we want the programme and we also want the carbon footprint.
To invest in order to deliver this. How did that conversation go?
Well, I think as well as any environmental investment decision goes, no, I think, to be honest, you're absolutely right. I think as being a property landlord as well as a construction company, we're bound by the service charges.
There is a lot of specific advice out there that already exists that can, you can quite easily develop a environmental footprint, but the accuracy of the data, particularly on things like waste, out of all of our clients, the waste data is always the one that they find most difficult. If you don't get the buy-in up front from the senior people, it's not going to go anywhere.
And my last point, what specifically are we asking the finance sector to achieve?
The way this impacts sectors that you consume goods and services from. So I think the property industry is actually a perfect example of this. They will probably be significantly impacted by some of these reporting requirements, and then that in turn will actually filter down to the level of essentially occupiers and understanding how this whole chain works. But is there scrutiny from the investment community? And I think that's definitely going to change within the next 5 years.
But the idea that it's now coming onto the agenda that sustainability is an issue for investment purposes and we'll see it on balance sheets could really play through.